What's going on YouTube? Quentin Knows Games here, and today what we're going to do is we're going to do a Resident Evil Revelations review for the PlayStation Vita. Now, this has actually been out since 2015, and I actually wanted to give my first take on this game because I know once I wanted to start making Vita content on this channel, I had to cover this game because I am a huge Resident Evil fan. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this review.
What's your friend's name? Your boat is so great. You're pretty good with kids. Come on.
Okay, so Resident Evil Revelations 2, I'm not going to spoil any part of the story. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of just the beginning and how you end up in this situation. So you actually play as Claire Redfield and Moira Burton. So those are the two characters you will be controlling within the game. And if you don't know who Claire is, she's actually Chris's brother, Chris Redfield, from the original Resident Evil, and then also Resident Evil 5. And then also Moira Burton is actually Barry Burton's daughter. So I don't really know a lot of that stuff. So actually, those are the two characters you will be using. And this game actually takes a different twist onto the Resident Evil gameplay functions that you've known from Revelations and Resident Evil 5 and stuff like that. So what it's going to do is you actually have two different characters, like I said, Moira and also Claire. Claire is going to be more of the hands-on with firearms, so any shooting that you're going to be doing within the game is going to be handled through Claire. And then also Moira, for some reason, just does not want to use firearms for no reason, probably because of her father. So she actually sticks to blunt weapons, which is a crowbar, and also on top of that, she flashes a flashlight either at the zombie's face, or she even flashes it around at the ground just to scavenge items for you. And one thing I will have to say about this game's story is right in the first episode, grip me that quick. I've never been gripped within the game so fast within the storyline. I think maybe back in like Resident Evil 4 when I was back in the village and I had no idea what to do. So this game literally took that exact same concept. We're gonna pretty much kidnap Claire and toss her on this prison-like area or this island that she has no idea where she's at. So pretty much it leaves you in that suspenseful type of environment, which is good, which is what Resident Evil pretty much actually excels in when it comes to, yeah, it's not really, too scary, or this game is not too scary for me. It's very, very suspenseful, which I actually like about this series. And then also on top of that, not only is it very suspenseful, it still has an action that you love in a Resident Evil game, and then also, like I said, it has that that suspense factor of, okay, how am I gonna take this enemy out, or what the hell is this enemy that's coming at me right now with a big ass hammer? And then it's also, I have to give them their props on this. They actually made it to where on the Vita version, or I don't know if this is actually on the other versions whatsoever, but I do know it is extremely difficult to find a lot of ammo. And then also on top of that, the enemies eat a lot of ammo, so it's either very hard to scavenge your ammo, and then also it really makes it tough because the gameplay, most of the time I was in the red the whole time just because I got hit, and it was so rare to actually find green herb. So I actually liked the survival aspect of it. It added to the suspense of the game. So not only is there a story mode within this game, there's also the raid mode that made its return from the original Resident Evil Revelations that launched on the 3DS and also on the other last gen consoles. So you can actually play this with a friend, and you can actually enjoy, pretty much can see who can complete the stage the quickest, because it's different from Mercenaries. You're not just running around trying to hit time bonuses. You're trying to figure out who can finish the level the fastest and the most efficient in the quickest time. So that's what's actually pretty good about raid mode. And then also, it's pretty good to get a break from the storyline. So it's actually pretty good just because it still has that great Resident Evil action that we've loved for probably like the past couple years by now. We also do have some of the bad things about the game, like sometimes the frame rate can get atrocious at times. It can even dip really hard, especially when you're low on health, because I've noticed switching from character to character, it will be smoother on Moira whenever she's at full health, and then I switch back to Claire and it gets laggy just because your screen's freaking red. So I felt like the frame rate, it didn't completely kill the experience for me, but it needed some work. It definitely needed some work. But the visuals looked okay to me because I know it's on the handheld, but I felt like maybe they could have been a tad bit better. But I know how the Vita hardware is, and sometimes some developers have a difficult time with it. But I do understand that, of course, this game is actually a whole lot more complex than a lot of people think. So when it comes down to the visuals, I think they look okay on the Vita. I'm not really, I have a PC if I want the games to look magnificent, but when it comes to frame rate, definitely needs some work. Visuals look okay, but those are pretty much all the negatives I have for the game. It's pretty much just the frame rate. So, how would I rate this game? I would give this game a solid 8 out of 10. It's everything I expected from a Resident Evil title, especially when it being the second iteration in the Revelation series. And on top of that, would I recommend this game? Would it be a pass or would it be a pretty much a buy? I would definitely say pick this game up if you love Resident Evil, because we all know Resident Evil 6 was not scary whatsoever. It was a pretty decent game when it came to action, but if you've never played Resident Evil Revelations 1, I highly recommend you play that game too. You can get it on the 3DS or you can get it on the last gen consoles or PC, but if you would like to try a Resident Evil game on your Vita, highly recommend you pick this game up on the store. It is only $30 and it still has a ton of content where you can actually enjoy it. And I mean, like I said, it's a good Resident Evil title, because we don't know the future of Resident Evil. It could stick with this Outlast type thing that they're going for here, so we have no clue. But I would like to thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, if you have a game that you would like for me to review, shoot it down in the comments down below and I definitely will hit it up. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is Quentin Knows Games, and peace out.